What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. There's a mini Udyr rework on the PBE along with a bunch of other things which I think actually people have missed because of the Zaya and Rakan hype train. So let's jump into those. They're going to be in the description as well if you just want a list of stuff, but Udyr has his Q and W reworked, but also the mana cost system for his abilities. The mana cost is for all stances now, they start at 50, but they reduce by 1 every single time he levels up. So late game it's a lot cheaper. I haven't actually seen anything like that before. Now these stances can be a bit complicated, but for Tiger and Turtle, they're the ones getting the changes and they're going to work in a different way. That is what I mean by a rework. So the short version of the Q changes is there is no upfront damage anymore at all. Instead, it's going to apply damage over 2 seconds, and when you activate Tiger, you also gain a ton of attack speed. The longer version of that is the damage over time is the persistent effect, meaning you always do this while you're in Tiger. It's 30 to 150 applied over 2 seconds, and it applies on the first attack in Tiger, so after you've used it, and again every third attack after that. The active is 30 to 70% attack speed for 5 seconds, and if you reapply the damage over time, so like if you attack and then you attack 3 more times before the 2 seconds are up, you won't just refresh the damage over time, which is normally how it works. You instantly deal the remaining of the damage as a burst damage, so none of it is going to be wasted. There are a few things with this. So your consistent damage is much higher now, especially when you have some items. You do like 150 over 2 seconds plus 160% of your total AD. So if you have 300 AD in a game, that is 650 damage over 2 seconds as bonus damage, not counting for anything else in your build or auto attacks or anything. Now you can start to see why I'm actually talking about it. By the way, further as well is 64 AD bonus on top. That's an extra 100 damage on your Q for free, so like 750 damage. It could also even be higher, remember, if you can attack 3 times in those 2 seconds, which is not that hard with just a few attack speed items like Trinity and Blade. So if you do repeat it in a 2-second time span, you're probably looking at dealing like 900 damage just with this Tiger bonus. That seems pretty balanced. 70% attack speed bonus as well is double what Runin's gives. By the way, you know when Master Yi presses are as well late game and attacks so fast, that is actually 80%. So this is 70 on a 6-second cooldown, which is more like just over 4 seconds with cooldown reduction. Now I'm thinking this could really be mega abused. So you can reactivate Tiger while still being in Tiger anyway. So you could just apply the damage over time, which will deal like 600-ish, right? Then you instantly activate Tiger again after you apply it and reapply it. The first hit always applies after using Tiger, remember. That would mean you'd actually deal 550-ish burst damage because you've cancelled out the first damage over time with the second one you've just applied. That seems ridiculous. So that is his Q, but your W is also changing. The short version of it is it's no longer going to give you lifesteal anymore. So that's a pretty big change in itself, because instead it's going to directly heal you based on your max health and missing health. The longer version is the persistent effect is changing, not the active. So it means that you still get that shield on top of this healing, which is 200 rank 5, I think. His first attack and every 3 after, healing for 2.5% of his maximum health, which is increased by 1% for every percent of Udyr's missing health. This is worded super weird, right? When I first read it, it seemed like extra 1% heal for 1% missing. So you lose 90% health, you'll heal for 90%. I don't think that can actually happen. That is really ridiculous. So I think what it means is 2.5% is increased by 90%, so it's 90% more effective. Could you imagine though an Udyr running around at 20% health and healing for like 80%? I'd actually legit just quit the game. Like I've had enough. Riot's lost the plot. With these two together, if you're alternating between them, you're going to heal for an absolute bunch. You're going to deal a ton more damage than normal, and late game you are going to be a monster. So that is the new rework for Udyr. His W is now going to heal him, and his Q is damage over time that can overlap and burst what was remaining on it, which are pretty nasty changes actually. Shen is also getting a small rework to his abilities, so they work the same way, but the numbers are very different. Your Q empowered attacks now deal some more bonus damage as base because they're removing the bonus damage to minions on the Q. So it will still work in the jungle though, just not for like lane minions. Your E taunt is going to cost less and be wider, so it's actually going to be easier to hit, especially flash taunts, maybe multiple flash taunts. Your ultimate is the big change though, with the base shield going down massively, 850 to 525 late game. There is a new effect on it though. It scales with the missing health on a target, so up to 160% of the base value. What that actually looks like is up to 840 late game if you hit the maximum number, and that max is on someone who is about 40% health left. Also, the cooldown is up 20 seconds early and 40 seconds late game, which is not going to feel good. This is basically what he gets for being the best top laner in pro play, like, or the safest anyway. Like, he has way too much cross map impact, especially when he's going aggressive. I really don't like this for solo queue though. I think it's actually a pretty bad change. They're removing the rewarding play. Like, you can't really ultimate to help and engage anymore. The shield is actually pretty pretty crap early, and the cooldown is longer as well. This means you have to kind of play reactively and sit back, like you're relying on your team to engage and then you join in partway through, and who really wants to rely on their team? Like, that's not a good thing for solo queue. It's taking like all of the proactive play out of Shen except for split pushing. Like, you're focused really hard onto that, and that one playstyle is not really fun to just have to do every single game. I'm sitting here thinking like there isn't really much more I can say about this, but these in my opinion are really big changes for Shen, which screw him big time in solo queue for us plebs. Anyway, there are a few more changes on the PBs, so we might as well cover them now instead of in a different video, but I won't make this too long. So Mal's Heart is the first one. Your base armor is slightly down, and the Voidling health is down to 2 from 3. Now remember, they work like wards, so they're much easier to kill actually. As a side bonus, I guess your Voidling's only worth 5 gold now, not 10 when they die, so it's a bit less gold to the enemy team, I guess. The overall targeting is lane phase for sure though, and in my opinion this is a big nerf if you realize and you play around it. Like, all you have to do when he presses W is attack once from the AD, once from the support, and that thing is going to die and they don't spawn any more of them. That seems like a massive nerf, like a kind of ninja nerf. Aatrox is also having his W buff slightly, so more healing and more damage as well. They're not the biggest changes ever, but maybe they're going to help a little bit. I haven't actually seen Aatrox in quite a while after his rework, but I think he's in an okay spot. Like, when I do see him, he seems to do average at least. Now Ivern though could be getting pretty screwed this patch. Maybe they're testing a lot of different changes, but not all of these will likely make it into the final game. They're going to test a longer passive channel, so the jungle farming will take a bit longer at each camp, might make him a bit easier to invade. Bushes will not hide epic monsters anymore, so no hiding dragon and baron. Now this was pretty broken, but apparently you can still build a wall like of bushes at the entrance to block line of sight and do it that way. Those bushes are also going to have a shorter cast range, so you can't have as much control, and your E is going to be a higher cooldown. These are pretty aggressive nerfs. Actually, like, all of them are nerfs. They're nerfing a lot of different things, but he is legit the best jungler you can play, so I don't think it's that harsh really. Plus, combined with the fact that all of these are probably not going to make it into it, they'll probably pick like 2 or 3 out of the 4, not all 4 of them. He's still going to do what he does now anyway, just not as annoying or difficult to play against, which is a big thing actually. Like, not only is he strong right now for his team anyway, like, he's just so hard to play against, and that is what's making his win rate spike so hard. I hope you guys enjoyed this first little look at the new patch. Thank you for checking out the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, but for now, let's go to the robots.